Hello everyone, welcome back to our Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and thank you so much for the support in the past couple of videos and the channel as a whole. I really do appreciate it. Let's get right into this video. Today we have VortiX in the blue playing as the Abbasid, and across the map we have Kaiser Klein as the Mongols in the yellow. Now, I've been looking at that name for a while, and it still spooked me when I was about to say it. Don't know why. Maybe it was just the repetition of the K's back and forth, but here we are. VortiX is, of course, a very, very popular streamer and amazing pro, usually a top 4, 5, 6 top player in the entire world. So I would highly recommend checking him out. I will leave his links in the description below. I will also leave Kaiser Klein's links if I can find them in the description below as well. Now, in this matchup, the Abbasid currently sit at a 49.5% win rate over about 250 games at the Conqueror and above level. And then the Abbasid, as the total of across all ranks, sit at about a 52% win rate over across 3.5 thousand games. So VortiX, I mean, this is pretty much bang down the middle. I've been hearing some pros talk about how they don't love where the Mongols are currently at. Yes, the Silver Tree is pretty powerful, but the Keshiks feel pretty underwhelming early game, and I think they're just a little bit more susceptible to all-in stuff like that. And with the lack of walls, honestly, it's pretty hard to get that full map control. And against good players, VortiX can make Kaiser's life just a living hell over here if it does so happen that they go for trade and that Silver Tree gets popped down. The Abbasid also can get a lot of those horsemen out, especially with all those bonuses that they might have. We'll have to wait and see what we see out of VortiX. I will say, as I was looking through their profile, these two played just before this, and it was a short game. So I'm going to guess that VortiX is going to be going that military school, because I'm assuming that Kaiser rushed, and there it is. That Kaiser did somewhat of a tower rush, and there it is, playing it safe and sound. There's the military wing. Of course, the Abbasid pop out 2 archers and 2 spearmen, and they can really help defend any nonsense that's going to be happening. And with that scout, I'm assuming Kaiser's going to come and see the scout. There's his con over there, so he probably already saw it. Saw this wing starting to pop out and knows that there's no point in trying any sort of funny business against the Abbasid player at this point. So probably just going to go right into that Silver Tree, and we're going to start to see some trade out of the Mongols. Now, with that being said, I think it's a very, very good. I think it's a good start order. Obviously, you're gonna have to get some damage done if you're gonna go this early military wing or some sort of harass or something. So hopefully, VortiX moves out immediately at the 50-second mark with these troops, get a little bit of damage done. To make this valuable for the Abbasid, you gotta do something with these early units. It's the same reason why, if you haven't watched already, in the YouTube video I just dropped, I was getting coached by Kelsier. I didn't move out with my troops early on, and when you're sitting back in your base, it just goes from bad to worse, especially if if the power of your civilization is those early troops. There's a Silver Tree, as we expected. Now, if you've made it this far, I would highly appreciate it if you could drop a subscribe and leave a like on the video. It helps me tremendously. We just passed 500 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible and mind-blowing, so thank you so much. Trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, so if you could help me hit that goal, that would be wonderful. Rolling that right back into what we're talking about, you need to do a little bit of map control if you're going to have those early units, and I wouldn't be surprised to see, there they go. They go right out. They're going to be going out to here, and I'm assuming VortiX is going to be going right for this Uvu over here. So I already probably scouted it with his scout. The scout's been over here. It's probably already seen where it's dropping down, and VortiX is heading immediately out with those units. That's super important. Once you do have some sort of military advantage, it's incredibly important to do something with those units. And VortiX is obviously putting on a clinic and showing why he's one of the best players in the world at the current moment. Just kind of moving out, getting some damage done. This Mongol base is pretty protected though. All these sheep sitting under here. We just have everything just kind of hanging out under here, even the tree line as well. This backwards gold is so perfect for the Mongols on this map, because you can just, as you can see here, you can just stick this TC in between this gold, these trees, and you are safe for a long time, at least until that 10-minute mark when you can start to see some rams coming out or something. I'm assuming it's the Khan. Yes, it is the Khan, just doing some little bit of damage. There is the Uvu gonna get attacked down. Not sure if it's gonna get all the way hit all the way down, but we'll have to wait and see. You never really know, but we'll have to wait and see a little bit out of here. We do see the opposite player, VortiX, going for that second TC. Probably going to be dropping it down over yonder. I mean, this is just perfect spot for, I didn't watch the replay, I promise. It's just, it's the only deer pack around, so I just assumed. Almost every TC is dropped in a deer pack, so if I ever guess it, it's just because, and you're a low player like myself, a second TC is pretty much always dropped right around here. So if you're looking for places where to drop yours, a very good spot if you have a little bit of map control like VortiX does with these 4 units, then you can drop it a little bit out like here. Of course, into the French, stuff like that, you might want to be a little bit more cautious and put it like over here or like in here, as those knights would pick off all of those villagers quite quickly. But since VortiX knows exactly what's coming his way, there's a few archers out and that's about it. And they're on the other side of the map. This is a totally safe expansion for him. The worst thing you could possibly do in a game like this is drop down TC and get it harassed down or starting to lose villagers because of it. So just make sure that you have that complete map control, or at least you're in a safe spot dropping it down, because if they see it and they can stop it, it could get really bad for you at this point. But for VortiX sakes, that's not going to be the case, so it's going to be A-OK. We see the barracks coming out, which is pretty expected as well, because we're assuming we're going to see some Keshiks come out from the Mongol side of the map. The silver tree is just hanging out for now. I wouldn't be surprised to see it start to pack up and leave to its situational corner over here to get that sweet trade going along this back tree line and in over here to this marketplace. That being said, we do have it looks like that Kaiser's going to be able to find the remaining forces for the opposite player. The Khan's shooting up that movement speed into everything, and we're going to pick off all but one of these spearmen. I don't think the Khan's going to be able to take it down, but, there's a chance. No, there's no way. It's going to get all the way to this TC, and it's going to be A-OK. That being said, though, VortiX is still sitting in a very good spot, 2 TCs. The trade hasn't begun yet, so definitely not worried about much of anything at this point in time. And VortiX is pretty much just sitting in just hard chilling at this point, getting an even amount of food and wood, and then kind of moving on from there. There's the stables. It's a pretty normal counter into what you'd assume would be lots of trade. There's the trade going. Horsemen are just so mobile, and they can go from one side of the map to the other side of the map pretty easily, and also pick off traders relatively well. Traders are not super beefy. They have no armor or anything like that. So horsemen traditionally do struggle with raids because it takes so long for them to poke down a villager. But the trader has such a larger larger sphere, so they can get a much larger surround, and they can do a lot of damage. It only has 90 health, even compared to a villager, which has there's not the villager. Where's your villagers? There they are. Villagers have 50 health, but at least they have, they just feel like they're a little bit beefier and they can move a little bit quicker. These guys are obviously a little bit slower as well. So that's the case. Wheelbarrow is not affecting those traders. Now we do have Keshiks on the map, but VortiX has a nice sizable force and a TC. Keshiks are tanky. They're not that tanky just yet. Like any feudal age knight, you don't actually want to be diving TCs until you get some armor, or at least Castle Age itself. But, you know what, as I say that, Kaiser's like, you know what, I think I can do it, no problem at all. But this is the issue, right? It looks like they're going to be finding a nice home for those. Where is the rest of the squad's over here, trying to shut down trade as best as possible. An early tower is destroyed, and these Keshiks are going to be going, actually, I think one's going to be actually picked off, which is a huge pickup. This Khan is now the target of these horsemen, and we have some harass going down over here for these spears. So keeping that trade at bay and making it the least likely of going, right? So it's like VortiX is preventing Kaiser from getting the best possible trade line that you can possibly get, which is going to be very, very good. It's going to save them a lot of money. There goes another Keshiks going down. Another spearman is in the mix. The Khan goes down as well. So this is a great trade. Let's see if they can corral him on this side over here. Kaiser is sitting at a lead, but that's because of those traders, and it looks like they're going to get a nice surround, and boom, boom, boom. 2 Keshiks picked off, no damage actually done. That's a huge win for VortiX. VortiX is also sitting on another TC. Yes, Kaiser is trading, but it is not the most optimal just yet. Or do we have it on the way yet? No, it's still hanging out over here. So it's still doing kind of the minimal version of trading. There's 9 traders active on the map. One day we will be able to see what the actual trade numbers are coming in. So I can't see how suboptimal or optimal these traders are actually doing. But it's not the end of the world. This is still totally fine. And as he sets up his infrastructure to actually make this full trade possible, of course, Mongols cannot set up walls, which if they could, I feel like this silver tree would be so busted. But it can't, so it's going to be okay. We do see VortiX now rating this trade line. And this is just exactly what we want to do against trade. So maybe I'll name it something like that in the YouTube title. Just like how to stop trade, honestly, on this map. It's the go-to. This is a very good way. Just constant pressure, constant engage. Make sure you're protecting yourself and go for some booms behind it. We have 5 horsemen on the map. And there's just hanging out traders over here. So they might actually be able to get one if they actually make their way all the way over. We have supporting cast over here. Looks like we're going to have a battling ram to take out this tower over here. That way, VortiX can get a nice surround and impact on this trade line. Looks like we're going to be leaving this for dead. Nope. We're going to build it, but these Keshiks might see this, and that's when it's going to be canceled, I'm assuming. There it goes. Now it's going to be canceled, right? No, actually, Keshik's over here actually found, and it looks like the spearmen are trying to get in position. The archers are going to leave it, and they're going to be it is going to actually get up, which is quite nice. Those spearmen came just in time to scare off all of those knights, and that one ram is going to be able to make light work of this little outpost over here. Pretty flimsy, and then VortiX's base is safe and sound on the backhand side. The silver tree is now on the move. It's implementing itself in the far hand corner, so the maximum amount of trades to be going down. But VortiX is looking to put a stop to that. The target will be this outpost for sure. These horsemen are going to provide a nice kind of tanky barrier for these Keshiks. Here comes the Keshiks. But this is a very, very nice competition for VortiX to have. These horsemen are going to be able to dive in onto these archers, and of course these spears will be able to protect the ram from these Keshiks diving in onto it, and there it goes. And it looks like this tower is going to be going down, so not allowing him to fully set up that infrastructure to actually take down as what he might need. And as you can see, all these traders are stopped over here. They can't be doing too much just yet. They're finally getting going again. As you can see, the Mongol army is now pushing out and pushing away this ram, but the damage was done. Took down that tower, which is exactly what he wanted to do. Looks like this ram is actually going to make it back to the safety of the group, but I think it will be tracked down eventually. We do see 8 horsemen in the side and 23 archers on the side for Kaiser, so quite a sizable force at this point for the Mongols. But they are starting to fall behind in terms of villagers, and here comes the eco wing for VortiX for the opposite player. Floating a little bit of wood, but I'm sure that will go down quite quickly once he starts to build some archers and some more spearmen. That horseman is to the greater good. It's going to be gone. Actually, might skate away. It does. No. Quickly taken down by that one arch, and this archer mass is going to be absolutely able to decimate over here. But as I mentioned before, you really can't be diving town centers until you get into that castle age, or you just have a little bit more front line like a ram or something like that to absorb a little bit of that arrow fire. This will go down with the amount of spears out on the map, and VortiX knows that, which is why he's not too concerned about that town center. We have the horsemen now moving over here to do a little bit more harass. This is why it's so important. And honestly, this is why I've been feeling so struggling with the English right now, and I might switch it up to the Ottomans at the current moment, is because it just feels, their army feels so immobile. If you don't go knights, the English feel terribly immobile, and this is exactly why, because look at how many small points that VortiX can kind of find and do damage to with these horsemen. He's able to move all the way around. He's probably going to take down this tower as well, and there it goes. So another just quick little snipe set. This infrastructure is incredibly important to the Mongol trade, and if it's not up and running, then these horse raids will get even more and more deadly, and a lot of money has been spent into these arrow slits, which is going to be going down right now. I don't think it was canceled. So that's another piece of the infrastructure going down, and we're going to be finding more and more over here. Kaiser is into the Castle Age because of this nice trade, but so is VortiX, and VortiX's army is way, way scarier. Another merchant is gone, trader's gone down. Another one's going to be going down as well, and these horsemen are out of here. 3 for 2 plus a tower. We'll take that any day. It looks like another one's going to be going down. But that is a trade that you'll take as the Abbasid all day long. Super cheap, super efficient, tons of idle time as well for those traders. So it's a win-win across the board. The Abbasid army is hanging out under their second TC, knowing that they're going to have a lead, a pretty sizable lead at this point, 72 to 63. Those horsemen do escape. We have the upgrades coming in for all their units. Are the horsemen upgraded just yet? No. But they will be, and it looks like we'll be seeing Lancers coming out for VortiX, which is a good response. But on the other side, Kaiser knows what's coming as well and sees those crossbowmen. Let's see if we also have the tier 3 veteran Keshiks, the Step Lancer upgrade. Is it complete? No, so that's Castle Age. That's my bad. But it looks like, yeah, so they're up to the max they possibly can. Well, or maybe that's bugged. I think they're already up to age 3, right? Yeah, they already are. So, but once they get to that step length, they are pretty good. But I don't think we're going to be going Imperial Age this game, just by how it's shaping up and the size of the armies. But you never know. And I will say, Mongols don't stall nearly as hard as most other civs because of, like I said, the lack of walls. So the good news about the Mongols is that they don't. If you're playing against the Mongols, it will probably be a quicker game, or there's a chance it doesn't go super, super late game because they can't build walls. So you can always raid, do X, Y, and Z. So, but this is a pretty scary force. Veteran Keshiks are no joke. The feudal age ones are a bit underwhelming, but the upgraded ones, they feel pretty damn good. They're feeling quite solid. And look at just these horsemen just doing so much damage. That's going to be another trader going down. That is going to be 7 in total, which is so annoying to deal with. There's just these guys just hanging out over here in the line. This catcher is going to be able to make quick work of all of them, but not without just poking down more and more. And as you can see, more coming into the way. Looks like VortiX is going to try to get away as much as possible and then attack this one when he possibly can. And there it goes. He's going to be diving upon this one. And there we go. Just phases through the night like Danny Phantom. That's okay. No worries. That's fine. Just make me look like a liar. That's okay, VortiX. No worries at all. We have the upgrades coming in as well. Kaiser is trying his best to get up a mass of these crossbowmen, and we have 20 Keshiks on the map, but we have 11 Lancers as well. So both armies are looking quite scary. We have the +2 upgrade coming out for Kaiser, which will be a huge bonus. And we have the composite bows as well coming out for the opposite player, which makes them so scary. These are upgraded outposts, so if they do go down, it's going to be quite unfortunate for the Mongol player. Looks like they won't. One Lancer goes down quite quickly, especially with these spring hole emplacements, dealing a lot of damage to these armored units. Another horseman's going down, and VortiX has to retreat with his entire army, but he is retreating into spears, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're VortiX, and a nice micro there by Kaiser to get out of that situation. We do have a mangonel out on the map, which could be huge if he gets a nice shot off, but now Kaiser's aware of it, and it's unfortunate. It's a missed shot to the left. We have another one coming up, but these Keshiks and these crossbowmen are doing a nice job at kiting backwards and doing their absolute best with that movement speed from the Khan. As you can see, look at that, just keeps moving back into safety and also doing a lot of damage to this army. Lancers going down left and right, so are the spearmen. And this is a very nice trade. The Keshiks were able to fully loop around the army, snipe the mangonel. This is just a textbook play here by Kaiser, and very well done. There's not much VortiX could have done about that besides not engaging at all. So excellently done there by Kaiser. Now we can start to chase down some of these remaining forces, but there is enough spearmen there to make it kind of scary for the Keshiks, so they pull back almost immediately. And they're trying to get some good value onto these Lancers. It looks like that will be the case, but the Lancers are able to quickly move out and about, and the Keshiks are going to get a nice run on maybe 1 or 2 of them. Just kidding, they're able to slope down right over there, and no problem at all, and the rest of the army is able to slink back home. That being said, this range mass is pretty vulnerable over here. If these guys are able to loop back around, they'll get a nice engage. If this is caught out, this is It's actually kind of risky for Kaiser over here. Leaving this much of a vulnerable force over here, and your Keshiks are now way back here. If VortiX sees this, I think this is going to be okay. It looks like we're pulling back, which is good. We have the +2 upgrades coming in as well for VortiX. This is good. This is good by Kaiser pulling this all the way back and then bringing the front line over. If you do in the lower levels, do not split up your armies late game unless you have the ability to, and make sure it's in a safe spot, because if you lose all those range units, doesn't matter how many knights you have, it's going to be really, really tough because you cannot engage onto these spearmen under any circumstances. So just be careful when moving separate, when you're putting them on separate hotkeys. Yes, the flexibility of the moving knights is awesome, but if that's your only front line, make sure that they're at least close by if you're going to be moving this mass this far forward. Looks like that is happening yet again. And VortiX is going to see this out with these Lancers. So they're going to get picked off quite quickly. There they go. And hopefully that these Keshiks move up into position. But it looks like these Lancers are going to be pulling them kind of even farther away. Where are they going to go? This way. They're going to go for the trade. I love that. It looks like they're going to be getting away. Now, this is going to be a good play over here from Kaiser to go check this gold. But hopefully these Keshiks move up. Where is the Keshik army? Oh, it's chasing the Lancers, the whole thing. So VortiX knows that this entire army is over here. If he sees this, this is going to be so bad. We also have a Lancer raid on the top-hand side. VortiX is playing this so perfectly. If this mass can get over here in time, that would be perfect. They're checked. Nothing's going over here. We have essentially, a quick 45 troops that would just be just completely eliminated if they're in the right position. This Curl Tide is a little bit back, so that it wouldn't even get the benefit of that. And it looks like we have the blue blob is moving out. The Lancers are up top. The blue blob is going to be over here. If they see this little blob over here, and here they go, they see it. They're moving in. Where's the Keshiks? The Keshiks are way back in the trade line, moving back to get the Lancers over here. And now the blue blob is moving in, and VortiX finds all of his archers units. And we even have horsemen in the mix as well. This isn't the best competition to take them down, but there's just too many units over here. VortiX is able to keep all of his front line in as well. And this is going to be an absolute slaughter. The entire range mass for Kaiser is going down, which is absolutely brutal. I know I was foreshadowing this a little bit. I didn't even realize fully what was going to happen, but this is an absolute slaughter. The Keshiks are coming in, but a little bit too late because the entire mass is over here. And there is the GG's. VortiX with the catch. Positioning is so important. I feel for Kaiser. I've been there as well. My range units are just sitting out there. They're really slow. As I was mentioning with the English armies, they're just so slow right now with men-at-arms and the archers. They get caught out by a quicker moving force, and it's all over. GG's to both players. If you did enjoy this commentary, please do leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hope you guys have a great night.